Yesterday, Jubilee Vice Chair David Murathe accompanied Raila Odinga to a meeting with young leaders from Ranga, and he had some very interesting things to say. And if it was ever in doubt that President Uhuru Kenyatta was going to endorse Raila Odinga to succeed him, then Murathe cleared the air. He asked Kenyans to prepare for a Raila presidency. So today in the comments, I want us to discuss, will President Uhuru's endorsement of ODM's Raila Odinga be enough to propel him to State House? Also, I have a summary of today's big news and trending topics, including that press conference by the Hustler Nation, which happened just a few minutes ago, more than a few minutes ago. We'll look at what they said. Welcome to Speedfeed. Mr. Kimani Mbogwa is my name. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. We are happy to have you here. We are live here on Facebook. And as per the description of this post, we want to talk about David Murathe's comments yesterday about endorsing Raila Odinga for presidency. So, yeah, give me your thoughts on this. So, is this enough to propel Raila Odinga to State House? Because now it's clear that President Uhuru wants Raila Odinga to succeed him. He talked in the meeting, and a lot of things he said, and he also made comments about the BBI, which is interesting, and he gave insights as to what the BBI proponents are planning. He says that if the BBI doesn't pass for now, then we should prepare for a Raila presidency, because the current administration believes that Raila Odinga will implement and pass the BBI if elected president. Interesting insights about on the thoughts on what Murathe had to say. He also said that the president will be meeting with Raila Odinga in Mombasa. In fact, yesterday in that meeting, he said that Raila was on his way to Mombasa. And for those of you who've been asking where the president has been, after coming back from the UK, he has been chilling at the coast, and he's going to be meeting with Raila. So I have a question, as you can read in the description. Is Uhuru's endorsement enough to make Raila president? As they say, coalitions and agreements and all of those things, they make the presidency. Back in 2002, and it's a norm here in Kenya. But with the blessing of the current administration goes with the next, right? So now the president, he has made it clear that he wants Raila Odinga to succeed him. So give me your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them as we go on with the show. Now, we also talk about the Hustler Nation, who gave a press conference just less than an hour ago. They held a meeting today at the DP's official residence in Karen, and they made a joint statement afterwards that was read by various leaders. In fact, you can, if you want to see the full statement, it's available here on Facebook on Kenyan Society. You can just scroll up and see it in the video section. Some of the highlights from the statement, some of what they addressed, you can see them here. This was earlier when they arrived. You can see they're all in yellow. Yellow is the color of UDA, and you can see them there greeting the DP. This was at Karen earlier, and some of the highlights from the statement that they issued afterwards was the issue of the handshake between Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta. They say that the handshake has come in the way of the Jubilee government's development agenda, especially the implementation of the Big Four, which they say was sabotaged by the handshake. They also addressed other issues, including the bottom-up economic model that the Hustler Nation has adopted. Some of the, officials failed at explaining that last week, but today they made a statement. And at some point in the press conference, a journalist asked the DP about the issue of UDA politics, including the People's Empowerment Party and Moses Kuria not being in UDA, and they steered away from, the political side of that conversation. And the DP said that they will address those issues at another time. And of course, this comes after Monday's controversy where the DP was blocked from going to Uganda. Speaking of which, by the way, Uganda, the government of Uganda issued a statement addressing the issue of the DP's failed visit. They say that they are not interested in Kenya's internal affairs and politics. Uganda's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Henry Okello, during a press conference yesterday, the press conference was held to address this issue. He said that the government of Uganda did not receive any protocol alerts for the DP's visit, and he was not going to be a guest of the States. He also said that the UG government has nothing to do with the DP's visit, and this was only done in a personal capacity, and it's a Kenyan issue. They just said this is a Kenyan issue and the Kenyan government should deal with it. That's what Uganda said according to this. I'll be reading your comments as we go on with the show. Keep them coming on our main topic for today, which, by the way, at this particular point, the president is at the coast and he is meeting with Raila Odinga. The state has not given a statement whether the president will address the nation afterwards, but according to David Murathe, we know that the president will be meeting Raila Odinga in the coast, and according to Murathe, we Kenyans, that's what he said, should prepare for a Raila presidency. So if it was ever in doubt that President Uhuru is supporting Raila Odinga for president to succeed him, then now Murathe cleared the air yesterday. Thank you for your comments. I see them. I see all of you who are joining the stream right now. I'll be giving you a brief of other news stories happening. Sanaf, you're saying Kenya drama continues. Duke Jacobuya, you're saying Raila doesn't need endorsement. He is a man to beat in 2022 elections. He'll win with a landslide. Thank you so much for your comments. And in other news today, Interior PS Karanja Kibicho was on NTV last night and he addressed the issue of Madera MP Rigathi Gachagua, who has been mentioning his name in in the case that he's facing, the corruption case that he's facing. And he had some very interesting comments about, Rigathi Gachagua, who's an ally of DP Ruto. And he says that he was using Kibicho and CS Matiang'i as decoys and scapegoats in his case. And in fact, this is what he says. He says, in quote, he keeps thinking that the recklessness continued, referring to, Rigathi Gachagua used to be a DO back in the day. And this, Kibicho said that DOs used to rule with rungus. And now Rigathi thinks that recklessness continued. And he says, I want to tell him that stopped with the new constitution and he needs to grow up and stop being reckless. He has issues with his own people of Nyeri, who stated that he embezzled funds, and Kibicho says that Rigathi should deal with his issues and stop dragging him and CS Matiang'i in his case. At least that's what he said. And in other news, in fact, in the poster we teased this today, walisema KU hakuna masomo, but in fact KU has responded and KU students are taking us to space. Yes, 8 students from KU. They're in the final steps of finalizing their project before launching a satellite into space this month. Their plan got a huge boost from the Kenya Space Agency. Yes, that's a real agency that actually exists. Yes, the Kenya Space Agency offered them 1 million shillings as a grant for their project. It's called Operational Space Weather and Nanosatellite Development. It's made by KU students, and of course, they had to name it after their school. It's called KU Cube. It's a nanosatellite prototype for imagery telemetry. Yeah, some interesting nomenclature here. And it's called... It's a nanosatellite prototype for imagery, telemetry, and drones for agricultural and disaster management. So what is this thing going to be doing? This satellite, if it gets flown to space, it is going to be fitted with cameras that will be taking images that will be studied by analysts for geographical and geomatic information systems, and the data that will be collected by these images will be used to predict looming agricultural disasters, including like the locust invasion that has been plaguing us for the last 2 years, and it will also inform farmers on trends to help them properly manage their calendar. So I think this is a good way of KU students responding to being dragged into walisema KU hakuna masomo. Thank you for your comments on today's main topic. Magara Kingsley, you're saying sorry, this is Jacqueline. Sorry, I just lost that comment by Jacqueline here. He's saying he will not. Ruto is in our heart. We love Ruto. Na lazima tulipe deni. Magara Kingsley, you're asking wewe na nani? Yes, so that's regarding our main topic for today, which we asked, will President Uhuru's endorsement of Raila Odinga be enough to make him the next president? Because that is very clear now as to who President Uhuru is going to endorse in next year's elections. Keep them coming, keep the comments coming. I'm reading them as we go on with the show. As I always do here on Speed Feed, I give you a brief of other news that are happening. Yes, I just told you about KU and in other universities. If you're asking yourself when is some news about you going to happen, so apparently universities here in Kenya invested a lot of money in e-learning during the pandemic than any other East African universities, and this is according to a survey by Daystar University. Yeah, and Kenyan universities invested 12.8 million shillings in setting up infrastructure for e-learning. So, how has e-learning been going? I have a lot of university students in studio with me. Have you guys been Awiti, how has the experience been with e-learning? It's okay? Do you guys sleep during classes? Your classes are held over Zoom? Yeah, you don't have to go to class. Do you miss any online classes? You do? Oh my goodness. And they have so the news is Kenyan universities invested a lot of money into e-learning and it's working. So if you're in university right now, please comment below and let me know if e-learning is working for you. Benson Osoro Momanyi is saying Raila Odinga is the next president. Richard Cheriot is saying no. President Uhuru's endorsement is not enough. Barry Machoka, you're just joining us now. Yes, shall we continue with other news? Keep the comments coming. I'll be reading them as we go on with the show. So, there's a very interesting story here because Parliament has launched investigations into allegations of possible manipulation of KCPE results, and this was raised by two parents who went to Parliament and petitioned Parliament, alleging that their analysis shows that the results indicated possible manipulations. The KCPE results could have possibly been manipulated. Okay, they make a valid point, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So the parents want Parliament to review a law by NEC which prohibits access to marked exam scripts, which makes it hard for parents to follow up if they feel their children did not get the right marks. Does it make sense? What if you had access to your transcripts from, high school? Yeah. What if some of the questions, you remember, but sometimes you do an exam and then you go to the teacher and you find out that, hey, actually, there's some marks that I lost here. Well, it's so that can cut both ways. You can have marks deducted from you, or you can have marks added to you. But Parliament is following up on this law by NEC, which, when the exams are marked, you cannot access those marked papers. So Parliament is looking into this. If they have substantial evidence of manipulation of results or transcripts, then Parliament will make a decision. Now the news. We have been warned, to take caution when buying fried chicken. Yes, from some of the big brands operating locally. This is from a report by Wild Animal Protection. It's called the Pecking Order 2021, which is it's a good name. Yeah, have to give them for that. And this report was released yesterday, and it indicated that some of the brands operating here in Kenya, selling fried chicken, they handle their poultry so poorly, which ends up endangering the lives of consumers because of the way these chickens are handled from the farms. Some of them end up being contaminated by disease, and some of the brands scored 0 percentage points in the manner in which they handle their chicken from inception. So it's just raising concerns. Is that gonna make you eat less chicken? Felix? Willis? Yeah? No, you guys don't really care about this news. Okay.